survival. Enter if you dare. One evening, Mark decided to hike through Pine Hollow Forest, a place rumored to be haunted. He had always been skeptical of ghost stories and wanted to prove to himself that there was nothing to fear. The forest was dense and dark, the moonlight barely piercing through the thick canopy. Not a single rustle, chirp, or distant howl. It was as if the forest itself was holding its breath. He shrugged it off and continued on his path. After an hour, he stumbled upon an old, dilapidated cabin. Curious and slightly unnerved, he approached it, his flashlight cutting through the darkness. The cabin's door creaked loudly as he pushed. The air was thick with the smell of decay. The furniture was covered in dust, and cobwebs hung from the ceiling. On a table in the corner, Mark noticed a dusty, leather-bound journal. He picked it up and started reading. A man named Henry, who had written about his experiences living in the cabin. The entries started normal but grew increasingly frantic. Henry wrote about strange noises at night, shadowy figures lurking outside, and the feeling of being watched. The final entry was a scrawled message. Coming from me, the forest spiritary angry, it shouldn't disturb their peace. The mark made him spin around, his heart pounding. The cabin door, which he had left ajar, was now closed. His flashlight flickered, and the temperature seemed to drop. He heard whispering, barely audible, but unmistakable. Panic set in, and Mark bolted for the door. As he reached for the handle, the whispering grew louder, and he felt a cold hand grip his shoulder. He turned, but there was no one there. The whispering turned to a deafening roar in his ears. With all his strength, he wrenched the door open and ran into the forest, not stopping until he reached his car. Mark never returned to Pine Hollow Forest. The journal he had taken with him disappeared, and he was left with the unsettling feeling that something had followed him out of those woods, something that would always be watching. That's the end of the story, The Hollow Forest. Thank you for watching. Follow and like for more.